Good evening, folks. Apparently it's time once again to set someone straight, someone who seems to live and thrive off of defamation of character and misrepresenting the facts and then dangerously outing other people. Well, I made a video entitled, Apparently South Africans Want to Go Home. Apparently. Accused of a tirade by this person who outed the actual family that they're talking about. Watch the video. It's 6 minutes, 47 seconds. It's actually quite calm. Barely raised my voice in 6 minutes. And there were several pauses here. Hardly a tirade. Now, I mentioned in the video a small group of misbehaving South African refugees, including people who have taken advantage of the generous nature of others in so many ways. And I did mention the South African ladies group, but that's not the only ones being taken advantage of. We also have people who have out-migrated to other locations taking advantage of case officers for agencies that didn't receive any funding that are trying to help them. There are people who've used this program to their advantage as if they're on holiday. That's what I said. In the video, I briefly mentioned two families at the beginning, one of them a family of 9. Now, I never mentioned the family's name. I never mentioned a location. However, someone else has outed their location in attacking me because the person seems incapable of discerning what's actually said. The video is about people wanting to go back to South Africa or going back to South Africa. You need to listen to what people say. Two families. Even entertaining a comment about going back means that one was not suffering. No one suffering from the horrors that I've witnessed in South Africa would even remotely and flippantly make that statement in that situation. But we have refugees where they're getting help from others, people buying cars for them, out-migrating with people's help, getting co-signing for apartments, and then abusing the good nature of South Africans and of Americans who help them. In this video, I never accused anybody of anything. In fact, the title has a question mark. Throughout the video, I asked questions. Why would you go back? What are the reasons going back? And in the video, I mentioned another case about the elderly lady who went back because her family didn't come over. And I specifically mentioned that I didn't attack her or blame her. I just questioned what's going on. I mentioned South African refugees been mistreated and overcome that and driven on, which was a point about those who've been mistreated. This person defaming me once again talks about what a miserable situation these poor people are in. Yeah, lots of people are in a miserable situation, but they're driving on. They're not making flippant comments about going back to South Africa. Now, I'm told about families who want to go back. Well, I was. And in fact, that was borne out today. So for the person defaming yet again, accusing me of not doing my research, you haven't done your research. Check out Reuters today. That's what this video was about. And I mentioned 3 different cases in the video. In the video, I mentioned 2 families, specifically. Then I mentioned the lady who went back. I clearly mentioned other cases. Not all of the information I had could I share publicly. But if you bothered to read the news, you would have noticed today that Ted Hessen from Reuters, a journalist who I'm in contact with, ran a story about South Africans going home. Now, funny how my video came out just before this, and you accused me of not doing research. I'll read directly from Ted Hessen's story on Reuters. One South African arrived in Minneapolis in late January, departed the U.S. less than a month later. Case notes for that case said that plans for his daughter and grandchildren to join him fell through, so he went home to his home country. That would be somebody who misused the program. The reason for the video. A pair of South Africans arrived in Twin Falls, Idaho in late January, and a week later they went home, claiming that their parent was ill. Did I not make it clear last year? Does USCIS not make it clear to you that you will miss the birth, the death, the illness of family members because you won't be able to go back? Yet they still went through the program. Again, people taking advantage of the program. Now, I understand why they went back, but that doesn't change the situation. 2 other South Africans could have come here. And of course, the lady I talked about. And Ted Hessen actually revealed that she was in Moline, Illinois. She returned home. They said resettlement occurred quickly. She had not thoroughly thought through the process. Really? Isn't that the purpose of my video? People not thinking through the process, taking this for a vacation or resettlement or destination shopping. And her family in South Africa decided not to continue their own resettlement process. So she went home. Is that not taking advantage of the program? Is that not misusing resources? Well, what exactly did we miss here? Once again, we have someone that gloms on to my reportage and misrepresents what's stated and said. And people hear what they want to hear. The video is clearly titled with a question mark. And it's clearly meant to make the statement about people who are contemplating going back. They shouldn't be going back, or they shouldn't come over here. How difficult is that to understand? You know what? I've heard the sad stories. I've seen the sad stories. I've seen the cockroach-infested apartments people live in. I've seen them. They're not going back. The message was intended for people who seek to come over here and take advantage of our good nature, of our tax dollars, and of other people helping them. And for those already here who are abusing those helping them, which is a small number. I did say some. And the case wasn't simply about a family of 9, which she outed by telling everybody where they're at. I didn't do that. And the presumption on her part that I didn't investigate shows you how uninformed people are. Because the story wasn't about the family of 9. They were one of the examples in here of a family contemplating going back. Nothing in the story is incorrect. No tirade. Simply the facts and accurate analysis. And perhaps an admonition for those not to go back.